Hello and welcome to BCC Virtual Racing. Thanks to a special appearance fee, I have come out of retirement to commentate on this, the autumn handicap race on the Makuri Islands. The Neon Lights, I think it's called, course, 14.7 kilometers long with 72 meters of climbing. The riders now all gathering at the start line, and just to make it more interesting, the format has changed for the first time to be on TT bikes only, so no large groups drafting. So Pete Barlow going off at the front may well have a chance to win the race, and I think he may well have done in the past. Some 35 riders entered, I think 31 have connected at the moment. They are lining up, quite a few to go yet, so some are leaving a little bit late. There is the host, Mark Shannon, just arrived with the yellow arrow above his head. There we are. I can see plenty of riders coming in now with just approximately 2 minutes to go before the start of this race. So theoretically, and if the powers that be in the organising committee have completed their calculations accurately, all riders should cross the line at exactly the same time, making it a very interesting race indeed. But we'll see what happens. Apologies, no camera on me this evening. Having not used this for quite some time, I couldn't get it to work, so just voice only, I'm afraid. So as I was saying, Pete Barlow first off. JB, if he turns up this evening, I think he's a little bit feeling a little bit under the weather. He is last off, and there is, let me have a look, a 7-minute gap between first rider off and last. So obviously those riders at the rear have to gain 7 minutes. Hopefully all of you have had a chance to warm up. If you haven't warmed up for at least 20 minutes, you're not going to get your best time out of this race, which is short, very short, so it's going to be fast and furious. And in case you're wondering what the strategy should be, it's a flat course, virtually flat. It should be go hard and keep going hard until you get to the end. You're looking at 115, 120% of FTP, something of that nature. There's no pacing it, it's just go as hard as you can and get up to speed very quickly, stay there, and if you've got anything left, push on at the end. You should always be thinking to yourself, am I going too fast or am I going too slow? So you're not quite sure. You definitely don't want to be thinking I'm going too fast or I'm going too slow. That little bit of doubt makes all the difference. And here we are now, 2 seconds to go before the first rider goes off, and it should be Pete Barlow. I can't see him on the start list. May just be my screen though. Of course there is a rider off, that may well be Pete. He's scheduled to go off first with Dave Morton 20 seconds behind. There he is, in fact. Pete Barlow is in the running, good TT position there, pushing out 3.3 watts per kilo, which would be a very good pace for him if he can hold that. And next up and behind him, we won't see them yet, will be Dave Morton. Let's just see if he gets underway about now. I think, yes, he is underway as well. And of course, as all riders are on TT bikes, no drafting. Doesn't matter if the riders come together in a bunch, there will be, oh, there's someone catching up with Morton already. That looks like Poulter just about to come past. A 10-second difference at the start. Now he's sitting right behind him. No point sitting there. You may as well go. As I was saying, no drafting allowed, so no advantage. And that is particularly relevant for the large groups that used to come together, pick up speed, and then just swamp the riders at the front close to the finish line. So Morton underway, and that looks like McDermott, Rob McDermott is on the go as well. So 4 riders in the running, and we'll just keep a time check here. So Barlow is at the moment 46 seconds ahead of McDermott, and looks like Hokima is now underway, and he is 1 minute 21 behind Barlow. And I think by now you get the idea. Langen, he's going out at a fair old pace. What was his gap from the start? About a minute, just over a minute and a bit. Quite large biceps on him there, a bit unnecessary as a T-tier, and he looks as if he's about to catch up with Hokima, so he's, let's have a look, running at 3.2 watts per kilo. Moving up, spec underway, can see Langen, no, that's Hokima and Langen ahead. Fowler underway, and here we have Jamie Smith underway, 4.2 watts per kilo. I can't see him holding that. That's a little bit extreme. Needs to be looking at around 3.8, I reckon, to hold that pace. Oh, there's an appearance from Empson on. Is it? Oh, it can't be Empson. I'm just missing the character. That must be Sampson as a guess. Yes, it will be Dave Sampson. So Smith has passed Sampson already, which is a good sign. But coming up behind him, and never to be underestimated, is Albert May. Smith and May, let's see, started together. No, 10 seconds apart. Now, bear in mind that May is, well, not quite, but approaching twice the age of Smith, and manages to hold his own. A superb athlete in his category. And there's someone else who should be a lot faster, Al Watts. Currently sitting 2.6 watts per kilo. I've seen him race many a time before, holding well over 3. So he needs to pull the finger out really and get a move on. Darren Wood underway. Alex Walker, the organizer and host, easy to spot with that beacon sitting over his head. 3 seconds back is Stoneham with a view to Shannon in front, and then Deb Brooks underway. Now this is a phenomenal athlete in my mind, having risen up the ranks very quickly, fitness improved dramatically, now able to push that bike along, and she, I reckon, should be looking at around 3.79 watts per kilo, something of that nature, roughly. Oliver White underway. Campbell. Now this is a man built for TTs. Big rider, strong rider, and without going into the physics lesson right now, bigger riders on a flat course in a TT have the advantage. Someone of my size, for those that know me, I can be riding at exactly the same watts per kilo right next to Mr. Campbell, and he will pull away, and there's little I can do about it. So there's the advantage. It's all got to do with muscle mass, aerodynamics. But underway now. Charles, where's he? I don't know why he's a category C rider. I think it's a fix. He can ride a lot faster than that. He should be up at 3.84 watts per kilo. He's on 4.1 now, so if he can hold that, he'll get a great result. Civita, another strong rider, so we're getting into the fast ones now. I don't know why McDermott's in there. It's looping round Quebrada underway. Beginning to get riders passing each other. Martin Wales, Chris Brackie, is he underway yet? Yes, he is. So he, unless JB has turned up, is currently down as the fastest rider, having completed 0.4 of a kilometre. So just started. Well, there's Scott Rowland though, just ahead of him, and Matt Beaver. So this is the battle. These riders at the back got to catch up, and good luck to you all. So let's go up to the front of the field. We'll just pause here. That looks like Katie Jury, Barry Davis. Yeah, Davis, Jury, and O'Brien all together, catching up with. Can that be Smith? Can't be. Let's just have a look backwards. No. With them all changing around, there's Lisa Stevenson. 3 point, what's she on? 3.6 watts per kilo. Good pace. Right. Back up to the front. Let's see who is in lead. So Pete Barlow still currently in first place, followed by Poulter, who has moved up 1 spot. So the gap between McDermott and Barlow was 46 seconds, now come down to 3. And the gap to Hokima to Barlow was 121, now coming down to 114. Barlow's completed 4.8 kilometres, so on their current schedule and trajectory, he will get caught, but anything can happen in a course of this nature. Looks a bit wet out there actually. I don't think that will impact these riders in any way. So the running order at the moment: Barlow first, Poulter second, Morton, McDermott, Langen, Speck, Hokima, Smith moving up, Fowler, Taff, May, Watts, Wood, Sampson. Need to change screens. Behind Sampson, Walker, Brooks, Shannon, Stoneham, White, Campbell, Charles, Civiter, Quebrada, Stevenson, Skudar, Courtier, O'Brien, Davis, undoubtedly fixed just to suit his needs, Jury, D'Souza, Wales, Ware, I think I saw there, just maybe change positions, Ware, Beaver, Brackey, Rowland is the last rider on the course at the moment. And then me still at the start line. So Rowland is catching up. Let's just see. So there was a 10-second gap between him and Rowland at the start. And now there is 11-second gap, so that's falling away. Beaver had a... Oh, let's have a look. 15-second head start. That's down to 9. So he's going to get caught. This is, of course, referred to, all TTs referred to as the race of truth. For good reason, really. It is you against the clock. The incentive of catching up with your, what would normally be a minute man, minute rider, a rider that starts 1 minute ahead of you. Of course, these times are all varied, so it doesn't quite fit to say the 15-second rider. I'm sure you get the idea. And let me have a look further up the list now. 156. Okay, midfield we have Stevenson, Quebrada, Civiter. So I think, I suspect Civiter and Stevenson are probably facing each other in the same room on their turbo trainers. I don't know whether that's an incentive or not. They started, oh, what's that, about 40 seconds apart, I think. No. Stephenson is closing that gap. Campbell, let's see how he's doing. I've got some money on Campbell. He is currently 7 seconds ahead of Charles. They started on the same time, so he is pulling away. Or Charles is slowing down, of course. And let's just see, Charles is still ahead of Civitar. And moving forward from Campbell, we have Brooks, who was, let's see, 30 seconds ahead of Campbell at the start, is now only 5 seconds ahead. So the gap between those two riders is closing. Carl Watts, is he making an effort yet? Let's have a look. Well, he is still sitting behind May, 3 seconds. They started on the same time along with Wood, whereas Wood 2 seconds ahead, so Watts looks to be dropping off just a fraction. And moving into the front field now, back on Smith, just overtaking Speck. Yes, he's just gone past Speck. Is that gap between them 20, 35 seconds at the start, so Smith looks to be motoring. I hope there's no sandbagging going on in here. Back up at the very front, halfway through this race now, and Barlow is got his head down, holding his own, and I think he's actually, yep, he is holding position quite nicely on 2.4 watts per kilo. That's probably right on the money for him. Poulter currently on 2 watts per kilo. He needs to take that up to 2.6 or he's going to drift away from Barlow. Actually, I don't know what Barlow's numbers are, but possible. Morton, let's have a look. He is around 2.5 watts per kilo. It's exactly where he needs to be. 29 seconds, 28 seconds behind Barlow. So that gap between Barlow and Morton has increased slightly. McDermott now is 49 seconds behind Barlow. It was 46 just after the start. Smith is about to go past him by the looks of it. That's the view from Smith. Getting fitter and stronger every day. I think perhaps the youngest rider here, though, to be fair. Ware might be of a similar age, so both of you should be demonstrating what youth can bring. Smith at 2.8 kilos, I think needs to push that up slightly. 3.8. Remember, 14, how long is it? 14.7k roughly. TT, all TTs should be at FTP and above. Well, certainly the ones up to an hour, but conventional 10-mile TT, something of that nature, 115% of FTP or more. So Langen is now Zwift is muddling up the riders back and forward. So Langen is 6 seconds behind Smith. In fact, he could see now that stream of riders ahead of him, Smith, Poulter and Morton, stretching out. So Langen is closing. Is he closing the gap? No, Smith is, sorry, it's the other way around. Smith has passed Langen and moving forward. Let's go midfield. Shannon, 8.2 kilometers. And let's see Ware, how he is doing. One of the other younger riders, 3.6 I think you've got a bit more in you. Pretend it's a last lap crit race at Hillingdon and get on with it. Needs to be more if you're going to win. But there's Bracky moving up through the field. So don't forget he started in last place, currently at 8.2 kilometers. Let's take a gap from him to, well, he's just about to pass Barry Davis and O'Brien and D'Souza, but there he is on the wheel. Bit of shoulder barging going on there, not really very acceptable in a TT, but nice position from these riders. And there's a whole group ahead here. So do remember, no advantage in the TT. Nice to see the riders conforming to rules with their rear light on. Oh, someone up out of the saddle. That's an unusual move. I don't know who that is. Is it Watts? No. Taff. Campbell. It was Campbell, I think, up out the saddle. Could be a sign he's tiring. Hard to tell at this stage. And there is Barlow with Smith now in second place, closing down at the moment. This really could be a race of truth, of the race of truths. Barlow holding his position against Poulter, McDermott and Morton, but this is beginning to get quite interesting. Smith's moved well up the field, so has Langen. May drifted away from Smith. Campbell is closing. In fact, Campbell has made the greatest gains at a quick glance on my start sheet of any of the riders here. And where is Brooks? Brooks not far behind Campbell. Although she did start 3 riders ahead. So at the moment, Smith closing the gap rapidly, 3.3 watts per kilo. Still got more in him, I think. Needs to push that up. 3.5 minimum, absolute minimum. And in that Castle Park sprint, just seeing if it's gone off my screen. I was just going to go through the times, but Barlow set a new PR, so he's not hanging around. And let's just see if we can. No riders behind him as yet. And Smith's just set a PR as well. Campbell continues to move up through the field. He is about 50 seconds off the lead, and considering he started 4 minutes away. Let's see, Civitar at 11k. Bracky, how's he doing? Still motoring forward. Is he holding power? I haven't got his numbers. I have got Rowlands though. 4.6. He's right on the money. If the calculations are correct, but there isn't long to go. This race is rapidly closing down, and I think I will focus on the front so I don't miss what's going on. It takes a little while for Zwift to update. And Morton, 2.3 watts per kilo. There is Smith. 13 seconds away from Barlow. Since we last looked at him, he's closed that gap by 10 seconds. Now down to 12 seconds. Langen coming up rapidly behind though. I don't think in 2K might pick up 10 seconds per kilometre if it's all well calculated at race pace, but that's about it. Eight seconds away from Barlow now, but looking behind, let's have a look. Oh, wrong button. Looking behind, can't see anyone yet. Langan is 43 seconds back. Hard to judge perspective on the monitor, of course, but he might just come into view. But I don't think over the distance remaining. So this could be an exciting race. Can Smith make up 6 seconds over the last kilometre? Big ask. Barlow's holding 2.3, Smith 3.5. He's down to 5 seconds, 4 seconds. He must have Barlow in his sights round this corner. His opportunity is now. He's really got to put the hammer down. And he's backing off a bit. Has he blown it just before the end? No, he's down to 3 seconds, 2 seconds. There is Barlow in sight. I was looking at Barlow rather than Smith. What a performance from Smith. Needs to get that power up. Barlow is responding at 3 watts per kilo. That is more than Smith. And is that the finish? No, I don't think so. Hard to tell. There is Barlow just going round the corner now. 14.1 kilometres. I think it's 14.7 long. So just get a straight course for a second. We can see what's happening. Campbell looks to have moved up into 3rd place. My money was on Campbell. Doesn't look as if he's going to make it this time. And here we come up towards the finish. Smith is pushing out 3 watts per kilo. Barlow down to 2.8. Is he going to catch him? I think he is. But where is that finish line? It must be coming up. It's got to be a big push right now. And there he goes. Smith takes the lead on this right-hand bend. Where is the finish? It's got to be now. 4.7 I had. They're at 14.7. They're at 14.6. That, I think, is me sitting by the side of the road. It is. So Smith at 3. There's the finish. So 1st place for him. Looks like Barlow in 2nd place. Campbell's going to come up in another 32 seconds. Looks as if Charles has been making a bit of an effort. Maybe he heard me earlier at 3.8 watts per kilo. That's a good result from him. He started at the same time as Campbell, don't forget. And he should be the faster rider. But I'm a bit dubious of all these categories that some of these riders race in now. They seem to move from A to B to C. But nonetheless, there's Campbell just crossed the line. Charles is going to be just behind. But look at this performance from Brooks, though. That is a phenomenal performance from her. And then next up will be Beaver. Beaver across the line. Mays crossed the line. Good result from him. There's Speck just crossed the line. White. I'm going to move down rapidly through the field now because I'm going to miss them all. Who have we got here? Civitar, no. Watts. I think that is most of the riders have now crossed the line. 14.7 for O'Brien, just catching him there. D'Souza just crossing the line, followed by Taff. Warre just crossing the line. Who have we got left? McDermott just about to cross. And let's not forget our organiser. In fact, there is Katie Jury at 14.7. She crosses the line. being caught, well not being caught, but just with Shannon behind, Wales behind him. There's me still having a rest on the side of the road. Much easier, by the way, doing that. Courtier 14.5k. Let's go to Sampson. 14. Still a few riders left on this. But it looks like Courtier. Let's see if I can get him crossing the line. It's always nice to see yourself cross the line. I think he just has. Or has he? Well, he's winding down. There is Sampson. I don't know how anyone could ride round this. It's making me feel dizzy just looking at it. Sampson at a very low 1.5 watts per kilo. I'm not quite sure what he's doing there, but he's maybe he knows he's not going to catch anyone and he's not going to be caught, but that's not the spirit. I like to see full effort from all riders, so I'll be watching you next time. Stoneham doing exactly the same thing, and I know he's definitely capable of much faster and has got a great kick in him. But this is a positional race, I suppose. Let's see if we can see a competition coming up behind James Schoolar, 1.3 watts per kilo. I think he may well be the last rider on the course. Let's just double check. Looks like it. So Stoneham at 14.4, he'll cross the line shortly. Schoolar, if I can get to him, 13.8. And I think that is the last of the riders on the course this evening. So thank you all for watching. I'm not sure which event I'll be attending next, but with Persuasion, you never know. So have a good evening. Thank you for watching.